We all love anime in which the main character is a powerhouse. The main character is overpowered, but he is in the worst rank. This causes a lot of curiosity too. We have also seen instances where the main character is transported into another world and turns into a total badass. So, welcome back to Animeology, and today we will show you the top 10 animes where the main character is overpowered, but in the worst rank. Before we begin, be sure to drop a like and subscribe down below for more anime top 10s, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. Number 10. Bento. Bento is the 12-episode anime where people of all ages, but primarily high schoolers, fight over bento, box lunches. That sounds dumb as hell, but it's some of the funniest stuff I've ever watched. The premise itself is amazingly stupid, but that's the point. The characters themselves are pretty fun to watch, struggle to get these lunches. So every night at convenience stores before they close, the half-price gods, clerks come out and put half-price stickers on the bento. Once they go back into the staff room, the wolves fight to get the bento. The fighters are classified into breeds: wolf, the strongest, and dogs, the weakest. Our young hero and main character Sato, who got murdered on his first night trying to buy a bento. When he woke up, he had a memory of a person rocking his shit back. Later that day, he would return to see what eventually happened when the fighting starts. Bento is surprisingly well animated. The fight scenes are choreographed well, and there is a large variety of character models which each get their own style. There's a significant amount of blatant fan service if you're not into that kind of thing. Number 9. Lord Marksman and Van Dice. Set in Western Europe during times of war, Eleonora Viltari, one of the Van Dice of Zect, leads the battle into Brunn. There are in fact 7 Van Dice, or War Maidens, each having received a powerful weapon from the Black Dragon to reign over one of Zect's 7 territories. The power of the Van Dice invoke dread and fear in their enemies. An earl in the service of the country of Brunn, a young archer by the name of Tiger Vermund Vorn, experiences the Van Dice power firsthand after being defeated on the battlefield by Ellen. However, Ellen chooses to spare his life after witnessing his skills, but in exchange, he is asked to serve her. The story basically sums up to following these two characters as they try and fight through a war, with each battle being a new battle and event in an ever-going war, with each battle being a battle with usually a different opponent and progressing through their goals to fight and come victorious. Regardless of its flaws, Van Dice will enthrall you with its use of military tactics and really brought the idea of the battlefield in animation form. It succeeded very well in that regard and portrayed the entire war in the span of its runtime. Number 8. Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer is not a difficult series to understand. Its premise and story are, for the most part, very simple and bare-boned. Goblin Slayer slays goblins. He is so psychotically obsessed with goblins that his spare time involves finding new ways to slay more goblins. One thing that the series does well is to establish the creatures as truly terrifying beings, despite being regarded as the weakest and most pathetic of all monsters. The highly discussed first episode lays the basics about them. They are a race of deranged and sadistic beings that think of nothing but killing humans, defiling women for breeding, and destroying villages and finding more ways to improve their craft. It makes them for such truly vile and sinister antagonists. But Goblin Slayer also builds upon these traits by introducing newer, stronger evolutions of them, alongside a dangerous potential for intelligence and what appears to be a hidden myth arc revolving around their origins. The world of Goblin Slayer is dark and brutal, a world where goblins do terrifying things to humans, especially women. In fact, I would argue that Goblin Slayer mercilessly massacres scores of goblins is what makes this series really entertaining and worth watching. Number 7. Kurokos Basketball Last Game. Kurokos Basketball follows the story of a group of 5 first-year high school students who are regarded as basketball prodigies. These students, who are seemingly undefeatable, all attend the same junior high, Tico, and they were referred to as the Generation of Miracles. But among these basketball prodigies there was another player who was not only acknowledged, but also truly respected by the group of 5. The story follows this so-called Phantom Six man, Kuroko Tetsuya, and his quest to defeat the Generation of Miracles in their high school encounters. In order to do this, Kuroko attends the newly formed Serenin High School basketball team, where he meets his partner in crime, Kigami Taiga. Kuroko instills his style of basketball in an attempt to overcome the odds and defeat his former teammates. Despite the flaws in the animation, I still genuinely found watching Kurokos Basketball very enjoyable. The story was not only very interesting and engaging, but the characters were just so likeable and relatable as well. If you haven't seen Kurokos Basketball yet, I truly recommend you do. Number 6. Chrome-shelled Regios. In a post-apocalyptic world that consists of beasts, humans live in large mobile cities, aka Regios, and learn to use special weapons. The anime story highlights the overpowered main character Lafon Al-Sif, who is hoping to hide both his identity and superpower and live a new and normal life at the academy city of Zulini. Lafon is considered to be one of the strongest characters in the series. He is deemed worthy of the title Heaven's Blade at a very young age of 10. He displays skills including the ability to move at high speed, a tremendous amount of strength, and the ability to create illusionary tricks. He also has the ability to break down Kai, a power source, only by observing its flow. However, his past has caught the attention of Kieran Loss, a manipulative student council president, and Nina Antok, a military arts student and captain of the 17th Military Arts Platoon, who instantly recognises his ability and decides he's the perfect candidate to join her group. Number 5. Bungo Stray Dogs. The main protagonist of this anime, Atsushi Nakajima, thinks he's a useless good-for-nothing guy. For that reason, he doesn't think highly of himself. He's not optimistic either, although when the moment comes, Atsushi will do whatever is necessary to protect the ones around him. He's also very insecure, but kind at the same time. The story begins with Atsushi Nakajima, an orphan that got kicked from an orphanage a while ago. Since then, he's been roaming from place to place. Now he has no food or place to stay. He then meets 2 strange individuals, the suicidal Dazai and the idealist Kunekida. They tell him that they are part of the Armed Detective Agency, a group of individuals with powers or gifts, which are all as weird as the 2 men just introduced. Their jobs consist of investigating, protecting the city, and helping people, including the police. Now he must work with them in some cases, learn the ropes, and get to know his new teammates, all while avoiding or fighting the Port Mafia. Number 4. Aesthetica of a Rogue Hero. When we watch anime that contains highly overpowered main characters, then sometimes it really ruins the story, right? Like, there's absolutely no challenge factor for the main character and there's no tension for the reader. But depending on how this powerful main character is executed, it can sometimes turn into a very enjoyable and exciting series. Well, here's one of the very few series that is exactly like that. Aesthetica of a rogue hero revolves around Uwasa Atasuki, a so-called rogue hero, who has come to his own world after defeating the Demon Lord from the fantastical world of Lizard. With him, he has brought back the Demon Lord's daughter, Miyu, and has decided to let her live with him in the peaceful human world. In the human world is an international organisation called Babel, who protects people from returning to their own world. While Akatsuki and his friends try all that they can to conceal Miyu's identity, they are found out. Akatsuki decides then to protect Miyu from the approaching dangers in order to let her live a happy life. Number 3. Classroom of the Elite. When people think of school, they usually think of textbooks, subjects and careers. After all, schools are supposed to prepare you for the future. However, Tokyo Metropolitan Advanced Nurturing School is a bit different. It aims to not only test its students on an academic level, but also their skills in survival in the outside world. This school was created by the Japanese government to instruct and foster the generation of people that will support the country in the future. This anime follows the story of Ananokoji, a quiet and assuming boy who would rather keep his distance from others instead of conversing in any dialogue. Despite being a student in D class, which is where the school dumps its inferior students, it's quickly revealed that he has the aptitude to easily reach the top of the class, but for some reason he doesn't want to. However, after meeting 2 other students in the class, his situation begins to change. Number 2. Chivalry of a Failed Knight. In a time and place where one's soul can be morphed into a weapon, there are modern-day magicians called talent in magic and is labelled the Failure Knight, or Worst One. Getting way less than average marks in scoring, he was forced to repeat a year, but with the arrival of a new head of the institution, a new rule was created. Knights whose abilities are compatible, as decided by the board, must share rooms and attend practice and training together throughout the school year to bring up their abilities to the max. It caused a huge misunderstanding, which eventually ended up in a duel between the 2 of them. The punishment for the loser is eternal submission to the winner. And number 1, it's of course One Punch Man. One Punch Man is the perfect anime to watch if you like overpowered, badass and cold main characters. Well, the seemingly ordinary and unimpressive Satima has a rather unique hobby, being a hero. In order to pursue his dreams, he trained relentlessly for 3 years and lost his hair in the process. Now Satima is incredibly powerful, so much so that no enemy is able to defeat him in battle. In fact, all it takes to defeat evildoers with just one punch has led to an unexpected problem. So he is no longer able to enjoy the thrill of battling and has become quite bored. This all changes with the arrival of Genos, a 19-year-old cyborg who wishes to be Satima's disciple after seeing what he's capable of. Genos proposes that the 2 join the Hero Association in order to become certified heroes that will be recognised for their positive contributions to society, and Satima, shocked that no one knows who he is, quickly agrees. Satima is a very interesting character. You never know what he's going to do next or when he's going to punch the opponent. One Punch Man is one of the funniest and most entertaining anime series I've ever watched in my entire life.